I can't go, like, when they're first learning something, I can't go up to them and be like, that sucked. Like, that was awful. And just leave it like that. That is essentially what we're telling each other, and that is not the way of going about things. You know, be constructive, be like, this could have been better. This was bad, you know, maybe you could have done this. You know, interject, I guess, creative and constructive ideas and push the dialogue away from what was bad and to what could have been, or what the effect could have been.
And that's essentially the message of today is you know, getting rid of those barriers, channeling positive energy. We all have to do that together, even on these forums. And my friend, BTF's got nothing on Punjab Online. Punjab Online was straight, you friggin' suck, don't ever come back style. Okay? Like, that's why they got rid of it. Okay? So it's sad that that's still happening on BTF.
Can I say one thing though? For BTF, it's actually not been as negative. In fact, there has been a lot less discussion on videos for the past couple of months to the past year. You'll see.
That's positive.
Well, okay. Well, it's not even that. You'll see videos get posted from teams that place at competitions, and I mean don't place at competitions, and there will be no comments. And then you'll see videos like, I'm just gonna pick out a video like NGPD at Bhangra Fever was a hot button video. It had like 7 pages, and you have people saying this is sick, 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 and then you have teams that post their videos expecting feedback from BTF, and no one responds. Like, there are people who post on there that just say the word bump over and over and over and over again. And that's like, you'll see 2 pages of the word bump, and then on another page you'll see that's sick, and nothing creative or like constructive has been said. And it's annoying because I know people tend not to post feedback now. I think people have gone away from BTF actually and gone straight to Facebook or like texting. Like I know, for example, after Bhangra and the Burger, I got like 4 phone calls from people being like, oh, this was awesome, this was good, this was bad. And then you look at the thread on BTF where you expect the feedback to be for everyone to see, and there's nothing there.
Well, maybe we can look at that as a positive and negative. Having a forum like BTF is positive in the sense it creates dialogue, brings us closer together. It's just when we start to not have that positive criticism or stay away from it altogether and not have dialogue is when it turns negative. I think there's a comment in the audience.
Hi, just to go back.
Do you have a mic? Yeah.
Hello? Okay, just to go back what Ram said, like about the constructive feedback for videos. One issue of what I have when posting on BTF, because I don't post, like, the reason why I don't post much is if I post an opinion, like of my constructive feedback on a video, people will say, you haven't been in Bhangra, you haven't danced, who are you to talk? Who are you to give constructive feedback? So that's an issue that I have, and that's what, I don't know, just like, probably like progress forward. Like, it's just an opinion that I have, maybe just as an average audience member and what I can give, but I've had that negative feedback towards me giving constructive feedback, saying like, who are you to talk? So that's just the opinion why that's, people would rather like PM you and rather than have a public, like be it publicized, their opinion.
I agree with Romy. I think that these days, like they don't want it. They don't want to, you know, it's like they posted their video and they honestly don't care what you have to say. And they post it because I feel like that sometimes BTF becomes a popularity contest. There's certain teams that are on it, you know what I mean? The same people are on it over and over, and they don't want it. And at the same time, sometimes there's teams who won't even post their videos on there, and they'll just, I feel like that now it's kind of like no one wants to get, I don't know if embarrassed is the right word, like, you know, some people don't post their videos because they don't want to hear what people have to say, and then there's other people who don't want to give the criticism because they're afraid that they're going to get shot down. I know for me personally, like a competition happens and I just get Facebook messages like from Rom, do you know what I mean, like Harkiran our video, you know, and I feel like that's how it's kind of happening, because once again, it just comes into this like...
So it's good that we're recognizing this, and it's good that we have platforms like this where we can talk to each other, and hopefully moving forward, because we do have to progress, we only have not too much time left, that we can have these kind of dialogues and really recognize, people recognize that POL was crap. Like, POL was just a big hate fest. So you know what? The people said, see you later, POL, and people moved on. You know, so if these forums become negative like that, then it's going to be up to us to decide where we want to go with it. But also, these forums are also good in the sense that they bring us closer together, and we are able to communicate with each other and progress our art. So it's really how, again, bringing back to what Karen said, is channeling what we are on the inside, but constructively. Ricky, Kartik.
Yeah, I think one thing to understand though is that a forum is really just a reflection of the community. To highlight like the issues with BTF is really to highlight the issues with how we interact with it's just an online tool. BTF is not really the problem. It's the way that we're interacting with it. It's the way we think. Like as Ram was saying, like yes, I'm placing videos, maybe sometimes they get some comments, but like the only like real threads that really pick up, either some beef happens and Sing K1's going crazy, or like, or it's that like there's a results thread or a predictions thread, and it's like the same stuff. It's like, yeah, man, it's sick, it was great, and like, oh, congrats to the team that placed first. Because I think it's like, before solving like BTF, we have to solve the community issues. Like, why are we so obsessed with placing and trophies? That's why we're talking about placing and trophies on BTF. And one thing though that I do want to say is that any of the people that out there that are like PMing criticism and like giving criticism privately on Facebook, I totally understand why you did it and why you choose to go that way. But I really urge you to get back and give it publicly, and because that's the way you're going to change things. And really, as someone that like whenever we posted a video when I was a freshman, sophomore, junior, no one ever commented on it, man. I didn't learn anything from people giving us feedback, but I learned a ton from how like someone gave feedback to SGPD on BTF, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's what people are talking about. Or like someone's talking about Nachdi, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's what the crowd responds with. That's what BTF responds with. That's how people are thinking. So I learned a lot as someone new to the circuit from BTF by reading how they react to other people. So please, if you are doing that, please get out back and let's try to enact some sort of change as opposed to going away from those mediums.
Okay, so we don't have a lot of time left, but there's just two small topics I want to just touch on, just to create conversation. Because if we don't create this conversation, we're not going to go back with conversation to create with others and possibly create change. And the next kind of thing I want to talk about is just like segueing from what you just said, Kartik, is just the teams and the way we perceive things. I just want to like hear from the panel or from anybody from the audience, like what is the expectation of teams today? Do you guys feel like, from a judging perspective, I feel like teams are just weighed down. It's just too much pressure, and you almost derive from like the passion of Bhangra to more just like the expectations and the pressure. Does anybody in the audience want to speak to that, or anybody in the panel?
Can I speak to something?
Yeah.
Sorry, just as a judge, and this is a question that maybe I'm going to pose to all of you, is that I've noticed a real big difference between intercollegiate teams versus teams that are bred from organizations that are run by people who have actually done folk Bhangra in Punjab. And I feel that, just going back to this question, is that I feel that there's more pressure put on those who are actually taught from people from Punjab and who actually have the resources, unlike the people that are from intercollegiate teams. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I know as a judge, I feel that pressure from those people from those organizations when judging. So,
Darren? Well, being fourth generation in BC, I can agree with Karen. I myself am a dancer. I grew up for the past, I could say 10, 11 years dancing, and now I've stopped dancing. And I agree with Karen, as in what you've been taught growing up is the level of expectation of what you should present on stage. But I think now with the most current competitions and the most current dance teams, the level of expectation is by what other teams are giving you. So if you go to a modern competition, you can't take the expectations your parents and your teachers taught you because there's another team that just rose the bar about 10 points. Then you're like, oh my God, do I go by what I know, or do I go by, oh, I gotta beat them and go to their level of expectation? So it kind of goes both ways.
Anybody else, real quick? Ram?
I'm just gonna start off by saying, I think a big problem that I see, and I think it's affected, I guess, interactions between people, is it's much less an individual meeting an individual than it is an individual or a team meeting another team. For example, 2 years ago I was backstage and someone came up to me, and I was in a pretty funny mood at the time, but someone came up to me and was like, hey, are you first class Bhangra? I'm like, no, first class Bhangra is wearing the red. My name's Ram. I'm in the blue. And I think it really highlighted the fact that we don't know each other, I guess, as well as we used to. Or we go up to people and be like, oh, are you VDW? Or oh, are you BK? Or oh, are you Cornell? And Empire. And I guess once that is brought up, once we broach the subject of being a team, we try to represent the team and try to represent, I guess, the entire organization in a way that we feel is best fit that image. And I think that hinders a lot of communication. It's really hard to I know backstage, I try to go meet people and try to call them by a first name basis, and they won't really respond. And then you call them by the team, and then you have like 3 people turn around and talk to you. And it's very hard to meet people, make friends. I know I'm in the business of dancing just simply because, with the FCB guys, it's like one of the few times where I get to see some of my best friends from high school and college. And it's becoming less and it's a less and less time. So that's my motivation, is to meet the people that I really care about, the friends that I really like to be around. And I think the team thing it's really hard because now, I dance on an independent team now. I used to dance in Steel City as a college team. And I know when I was in college, it was just fun. You got to meet people. You had no restrictions placed on yourself. You're just trying to get out there, meet as many friends as possible, enjoy the college life. Now, we teach kids, and then, we teach adults, and then we're doing practices all year round. And there's a greater emphasis placed on a professional presentation. And then you start looking at it like a business. And then it starts bringing up all these pressures about placing and about winning. And I think the big thing is now teams dance with less passion on stage. And they try to, I guess, conform to what they think is going to win them a trophy. And then if they don't win, or they don't get the feeling that they have after, they just, get really upset. And I think that's something that's definitely changed in the past 4 or 5 years, is you had a lot of people going on stage being really energetic, really fun, and dancing. And, afterwards they just kicked it. And now it's you go on stage and you see people who are really nervous and they want to win. Yeah. And then afterwards they're upset, visibly upset.
The audience.
So I just wanted to kind of throw my 2 cents in. My name is Akash. I'm from UNC Bhangra. I'm the captain here. The way I kind of always seen things, there are 2 categories we can agree on. There's live and there's music. There are live teams and there are music teams. I feel like the majority of competitive is music. That's there are competitions that are devoted purely to music teams. And when you have competition, it breeds change. That's what evolution is. When there's competition, there's evolution. You can't avoid it. That's life. So things are going to change when there's competition. And that means we're placing our futures in the hands of judges, basically, because they're deciding what is the change, what is better, what is worse. And so I think it all boils down to respect, personally. We need to find judges we can respect and whose opinions we can respect. And we need to start respecting each other as teams. Everyone has their own ego. Personally, I've been part of UNC, I've been part of our wins, but I wasn't a key dancer back then when we had our wins. So as a captain, last year we didn't win anything really, we just kind of did our own thing. We're all just, at least I know UNC, from our perspective, we're just trying to gain people's respect on the circuit. I'm gonna be honest right now. And there are teams that already have that, like SGPD and NJ, and they can do whatever they want, and people are just gonna be okay, whatever. But we're fighting for that, and a lot of teams are fighting for that, in my opinion. It's just people's respect on the circuit. People aren't willing to give that out easily. And that's because we're all competitive, we're all dancers. Dancing is an art, and art is to be judged. And we're judging each other all the damn time, honestly. And we need to break that shit down first if we ever want to get over any of this other stuff, honestly. That's my personal opinion.
And that's